Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the episode of the Unturned Podcast. I'm your host, Charles, and we're joined once again by Trading Games.
Oh, shit.
That's Wally.
The intro did not peak this time. This is gonna be amazing.
Liliana.
Yo.
And I forgot what episode number we're on.
53? 4? 54.
54, I believe.
I think. Let me check.
I think you're right. I think it's 54. But this is going to be probably the new schedule. The first was it Saturday?
Friday.
No,
It's
Saturday.
Friday.
It's Friday that we're recording this on the second or the third. But I think the first Sunday of every month is what we're going to do. Stick to that at least. Because I'm not doing this.
It's not Sunday either.
It's not, because I have to edit the fucking episode, diddly. I have to edit diddly. I have to edit the app.
Edit the app? What?
Can you believe this guy? He's editing.
Bruh is so silly. Now that we've basically, the last episode we actually recorded was like more than a month ago, like a month and a half ago, technically speaking.
I think so.
Because we pre-recorded 3 episodes because of the holidays. And that was interesting because a lot of things came up when we were kind of gone. And after the last episode was kind of funny. So it's kind of like a month and a half of like time that's been between the episodes that we're going to talk about. There's a couple things that have been happening that are pretty cool. And I realize now that technically I could have continued this, like, the podcast weekly for this year too. But like, it's not really worth it. It's not worth it.
I feel like not enough happens in a week, but enough happens in a month to talk about. Like, a lot happened. Yeah, a lot happened. A lot happened in January, but then I feel like that was like week 3 and 4 of January. So like week 1 and 2, if we were to go weekly, we'd just have nothing.
Mm-hmm. So we have a couple things we would like to talk about this episode, because we won't have to actually just talk about a random thing.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to go first with any of your topics, because I mean I have a couple things to say, but I think
I would say you start.
You want me to start?
Yes.
Okay, so something interesting that happened that I didn't even know about until a day before the actual event was happening is that there was this YouTuber, well, not YouTuber, he's a live streamer on Twitch called Weslieg, and he was holding a $1,000 tournament of 5-man groups in an event, and it was 6 people, 6 groups that showed up. The one group didn't show up during the event. And then a couple other disasters happened. The event was fine. The event and what it was supposed to do went like over well. It was a learning experience for Weslieg, and I was very surprised because it was kind of funny because all these people don't know who actually showed up for this event. I've been around for a while, and I've known a lot of people, especially Sauropod Money. Now, if you get that reference, you know who I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is Fear. People don't know who the hell Fear is anymore. Fear is a OG clan. They were the most respected PvP clan in Unturned history. But behind it's basically Saints, if anyone knows who Saints is. And basically, the members of Fear and one of the members of Saints all teamed up to do this event. And they won. They destroyed the competition. There were 500 points up on the score as opposed to the second. There were 700 points, and the second team behind them was 200 points. That's how dominant this group was on this event. And it was so funny. Like, before the event started, everyone was like talking smack to these people and not knowing who they were. And I was the only person saying out of the whole crowd that I knew who was going to win, and it was going to be Sauropod, and which was the group they were. And it was so funny just seeing the crying that this event had, because they believed that these guys were cheating. They believed these guys were not that good. It was really funny, and I think there needs to be more events that happen in the future. And he's also planning another event this month. If anyone wants to go, and I probably will link it in the description if you guys want to go to that event. Weslieg's putting up a lot of money. He put up $500 for the last event, and then the rest of the money was coming from the people who were giving money to even show up for the event. So Weslieg's putting a lot of money on this, which I really respect. And another thing that really opened my eyes about tournaments is that there needs to be a rule set in place, in my opinion. Currently, right now, over the years too, unturned tournaments have been kind of like weird. There's never been a conclusive rule set of what an unturned tournament should be. There's a bunch of tournaments technically. There's not like anything, but I think as I saw in this tournament, there was a couple of bad actors I don't think should all be around that certain topic, if that makes any sense. I'm not gonna say who, but it's just really weird people. And when I say this, I'm gonna say this right now. I do want to make something similar to, if you guys know who Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Melee, they have a PGR ranking through this like Microsoft website now, because it's owned by Microsoft. And basically, it's just a tournament thing. It has its own moderators, it has its own people that work on this stuff. And I kind of want to implement that for Unturned, to put some semblance of rules and some, I don't know, basic information of what an unturned tournament should be. Of course, people could do whatever they want. They could not be a part of the entire ranking system, but I think it'd be interesting to have one, at least because it'd be funny, and also it could put some credibility on the actual tournaments and not make them kind of like backwater like tournaments, if that makes any sense. Because that's what most of these tournaments are. They're kind of like just like things that people do for fun, and they're not really organized fully, or they're not really professional most of the case. And I think that needs to change in order for that scene to move forward. And I know a lot of people don't like the PvP scene, but I think it's important for Unturned as a whole. Like, despite your differences against people that are in that scene, it's very intriguing. It's very cool, and it benefits all of us as a whole if they succeed. So I think that's what I want to do forward. But that's just one talking point I wanted to get off my chest after seeing Weslieg's tournament, because it really did make me think about all that stuff all over again. Ever since the last tournament beforehand, which was Unturned Pro League, and that had its own problems too when it came to giving its players money and stuff. But luckily, Weslieg has not had that problem, so I give massive props to Weslieg for not scamming his people.
For hosting an actual tournament and not scamming people. I think the fact that you have to say that says a lot about society.
Well, let me say this again. Unturned Pro League did not technically scam anybody. It's like just people are weird. Money is weird. When it comes to money in any scene, that's when shit gets weird. Which is why a lot of times, a lot of problems just stem from money. So yeah, that's not anything.
Something I had an idea for tournaments, which I came up with. Like I just thought of this on the spot. So, you know how TF2, like Team Fortress 2, not Titanfall, has tournament medals and stuff like that for like places and like for like major tournaments, the stuff that gets like announced in game, whatever.
Yeah.
Something like that, but as like an exclusive cosmetic to do with that tournament for like winning. Something simple like a badge or trophy. Like,
the problem with that, Lily, is technically it did already happen, but the one that I'm talking about is specifically P9's tournaments that he was hosting back in the past, and basically the winners. It was sponsored, I guess, quote unquote sponsored by Nelson, because the winner would get a golden item or silver and bronze for first, second, and third, and but the reception on that tournament was so horrible because the rule set was really bad. It was not organized correctly, and I believe the event organizer was just not really thinking really that ahead. And again, that was also another problem. Another point in the problem with Unturned tournaments as a whole. It just doesn't seem like it's not incentivizing entertainment, it's incentivizing more so winning, and that's not really a good way to go in a direction of this stuff. And that's why I want to fix with a system that encourages more professionalism and streamline when it comes to tournaments.
I mean, to be fair, isn't the point of a tournament to win?
I mean, yes, but also don't make it boring.
Is also the point to be entertaining, right? Like
people true.
Need to watch the tournament.
Yeah, there needs to be at least some incentive to actually do a tournament, because for the most of the time that these people are literally just losing money. Like Weslieg literally lost $500 on the last tournament, and just because he's doing it for fun. But like I don't think necessarily we don't have to go down that path of just like all of us have to just put up a shit ton of money to get these things off the ground, because that's not sustainable. That's not sustainable whatsoever when it comes to the scene. And what I'm thinking about is sustainability in the long run. I mean, yes, the point is to win, but if you have a tournament that's just completely boring and that the winning condition is just completely like stupid, then no one's gonna watch, no one's gonna care. It's not gonna be cool. And that's what happened with. If I'm being honest, that's what happened with P9's tournament. Everybody in the scene that was watching this all thought it was a joke, and it made the Unturned like tournament kind of scene die completely for like a year, because P9 made it look like a joke when it came to his role set. I know that sounds like me being harsh, but that's the reality of it all. And yeah, go ahead.
I never saw P9's tournaments. I don't think throughout like P9's career, and also just Unturned competitive, I don't really pay attention to that. I kind of like with a lot of Unturned, like I think the most I keep up with is a few content creators. Anything that you tell me about, like anything that someone puts in like the showcase channel viewer, and that's about it. Like I don't really keep up with much, and then also just my Twitter, which is just mostly Unturned stuff.
That's fair. I think the majority of the community does do that. Like me and Trident, we like talk about like Warzone and stuff occasionally because he's mad about how many views they get.
Yeah, there's no reason that press record for 10 minutes should get you 1,000 views. I made a pretty good fucking meme.
It's very
actually fucking better than any of them that I've fucking seen.
That's true. I will agree with that. That meme is so fucking good.
But I think for me, it's just important to get a vast like slew of people who are involved in different scenes, because again, I kind of want to be in the position where I'm literally involved with literally everything to a certain degree, and I already kind of am, but it's not enough.
Yeah, no, I get that, and I know that some people have also had that incentive in the past, but in like a negative way. I know that you don't know, but yeah, I get that.
People have tried to say that. I'm trying to think. Mostly, it's just I'm interested. My reasoning, my motivation, before anyone questions why I'm doing this, is mainly because I'm interested in more of Unturned, and also it's kind of cool to see people of their distinct like professions within this game, kind of, if that makes any sense, like their specialties, and seeing how good they are at that specialty. That can go to like modding, to Unturned PvP, to like Unturned glitching. So I mean, like there's a lot of things that I really like when it comes to the community aspect of it.
I can't wait for the Unturned rap battle tournament.
The rap battle tournament, dude. We're gonna lose to Trident Games in this epic FNF skills.
I wonder if anyone...
What? No comment for me.
I wonder how many freestylers we got in the Unturned community.
Eunice.
Eunice
is the freestyler. I mean, he has. That's funny.
Yeah.
Speaking about music, in July, just get ready. Just get ready. I'm just saying, get ready in July.
Christmas in July.
Christmas in July. Yeah.
Christmas in July.
I mean,
okay.
Something else, like, I wanna just like quickly like dabble back on the like whole tournament cosmetic thing. What about two cosmetics, right? One of them is for tournament organizers, and this isn't like an exclusive cosmetic for every tournament. This is just if you've organized a tournament like of significant scale, I guess. Like Weslieg's tournament, whatever, then you should get an item. And if you participated, like, I don't mean just sign up, I don't mean just like show up and then leave. I mean properly participate. You also get like an item, something like that. Because then that could.
I like it.
Yeah, because that could be as simple as like just a like trophy badge or something, or like a backpack. Because that could encourage people to play at least like properly play at least one tournament, and then that also gives that person a incentive to come back for more because they've seen what one tournament's like, and if they like it, then that's another person who's going to stick around for more tournaments, and tournament organizers like that's gonna encourage people to participate in making tournaments and also growing them to significant scale.
Yeah,
and also just
I
the
like
existence, and also just the existence of those items, even if it's just for participating, there isn't one for winning. Which hell, even winning could just be like one with a mythical. Even just the existence of those items, people will think, oh, there's tournaments for this game, and then they'll look them up. Because there's always those people who want every cosmetic.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, especially every special cosmetic. And so, if you have one which you have to play or make a tournament of significant scale or, like, significant prize pool, then, well, not significant prize pool, but just of good scale, like a good tournament, pretty much, then, people are going to do it. Like, I think people didn't stop at sending a physical letter to Nelson to get a cosmetic. You think they would make a tournament?
All the shout out to the upper crust of Unturned.
Yeah, and it also doesn't even have to be it doesn't even have to be just the main creator of a tournament, just tournament staff. If it's just like a badge, then there won't be much incentive. Like it won't be incentive like just to make the tournament for the badge. It'll more just be like just make a tournament and then you get a badge as well.
I think the problem with it is mainly just Nelson has to create and send every individual person a badge cosmetic, which is AIDS to do, from what I've known, and specifically what I've received as well. Along with that, I think the only other problem is it's just unorganized when it comes to the rule sets and the people involved.
I don't mean right now. I mean when we have like a proper rule set and stuff like that. Like hell, even if it's that Nelson has to like look over tournaments and think, yeah, that's a good rule set. Yeah, this is valid. Stuff like that. I don't see reason why not. Obviously, other than he's just busy.
Yeah. Well, we've been on this topic for a bit.
He could get Malt to do it actually, because Malt's community manager and tournaments community.
Maybe.
Malt,
if you contact me about this, by the way, I'm not letting you in. This is mine, Walt. This is mine. Okay. We've been on the tournament topic for a bit. Yeah. Let's move over to a person that I actually really I don't know how to word this. Let's talk about Liam Does Games. I want to preface this by saying Liam has always been a good guy.
Dude, he really does games.
Liam has always been a good guy. I've known him for a very long time. Me and him, we know. When I first met him, he banned me off his Discord server, and his Discord, his Unturned server because I glitched from the map. It's good times.
Holding a prejudice ever since. Still not unbanned.
No, I'm unbanned, but Liam's a good guy. And there was a situation that happened last month, with this smaller content creator called Small Berries, and he has deleted almost everything. I think he's deleted his Discord, he's deleted his YouTube channel, he's deleted everything. Well, I know
he was a good guy, dude.
I even invited him to the SMP, and basically what I remember correctly is that he was a person that basically incentivized pay to win on Liam's servers so he can get some sort of money from them. So they would, I guess he can make somewhat of a profit off the servers to a certain degree, from what it seemed like. And basically, I believe he was just fed up with Liam, or it was weird because he didn't ever say that like either of them were fed up with each other. He just said like he just left with the $400 that was left.
Yeah.
So and basically screwed over the entire thing.
Wasn't it 600? It was 400 or 600. I don't remember. But yeah, no. Like from what I could tell, it was really he set up a server, really just exploiting Liam's popularity to then slap his branding on a server which wasn't his, pretty much, in order to get his audience to come and play that server. And then they think, oh, by buying ranks and stuff, they're supporting their favorite content creator, but no, they're giving it all to Smallberry.
It was just for clarification as well. Smallberry and Liam were in talks, and this was like an agreement between them to do it, because he wanted to just have a server side kind of deal. So that was like an aspect of him as well. I don't think Liam ever said he ever got money off the server whatsoever.
He said that, yeah. I remember in the drama thread that's in his Discord. I don't know whether it's archived now, but in his Discord, he had a thread which was in announcements. Where's announcement? I'm dumb. Latest news, close enough. I think it's in latest news. Yeah. Just called drama thread, and it contained him just like talking about all of it.
Yeah, so if you guys want to read more into it, you can, but just know that Smallberries ran with a good portion of money and deleted all of his stuff. So
for the people who don't know, I could read off the whole message.
I mean, if you want to, you can do it.
Yeah, we've an hour to kill. All right. So, 18th of January, Liam puts out a message in his Discord server, and it's in latest news, called "The Truth About LDG Network." Shortly after this message was posted, the reason it wasn't posted in his network Discord was because that Discord was deleted shortly after that message was posted. And the message reads, it's quite a long message, but it says, "As some of you may know, I was co-hosting with another person named Smallberry. Smallberry came up to me asking if I was interested in making a network with him around my brand, and I accepted. I thought it was going to be a good experience, promotes my YouTube meeting some new people as well as a learning experience. Since he was very educated about server networks, and after a few calls he seemed mature and professional, and we agreed to open the network. And my job was to promote the servers in streams and videos. At the start, all was well, but then that's when behavior started to change. He was always complaining and angry at me over any silly mistake I or any of the staff would do. I always tried to handle it maturely. At the same time, he would start pressuring me to record content on the servers, and I did. From there, the servers started doing well, and I was happy. At this point, the servers started always generating revenue from donations, which were extremely expensive, €70 for a rank. This was our first argument. I told him it was expensive, but obviously he didn't change. We also agreed that all revenue would be split 50-50. After a couple months, on a lovely day, he DM'd me saying he wants to quit and asked if I will terminate the servers or keep going on. I didn't want to terminate, so I said I will continue. I also asked him to teach me some stuff, start transferring ownership when it came to Discord, Tebex, and our Discord server. And our dedicated server, sorry. This never happened. As soon as I told him this, he decided he wasn't going to quit anymore. Kinda weird, but at the time I thought that's good. The network can continue how it was. The behavior with our trial staff was horrific. He would yell, disrespect, and just derank anyone who made a mistake. And at that point, I was getting fed up. He was controlling towards everyone, including me, getting mad to me because I didn't stream once on my own personal stream. He would also treat donators differently, and that's when I started realizing. Yesterday, he DM'd me, complaining again, and I told him I was done working with him and his terrible behavior and money-hungry personality. I told him to refund everyone or give me 50-50, where from there I would refund people myself, since he had all the donations sent in his PayPal. He said he will refund it. Today, he told everyone he could not refund because of some quote-unquote law. He then proceeded to delete the network Discord, block me, and take all revenue. And then he says after, obviously I'm very disappointed and I would like to apologize to everyone for letting you down. My new network will not have any pay to win and will not be treated as a money machine.
So yeah.
And yeah, that was the message posted, and then there was a drama thread under the @everyone where he said basically everything else. Stuff like other people gave their views on how Smallberry was, stuff like that. It was a pretty interesting drama.
Yeah, it's fucked. It was just fucked, to be honest with you. especially from a person like Liam. Like, Liam's never done anything wrong for the time that I've known him, and if anyone in the community is like the most pure-hearted out of everyone. Not a bad guy whatsoever, and it's kind of sad to see that this happened to him. But then again, it is I guess a bit of a learning experience for him and a lot of people who are planning to work with other people on server chains and stuff. So
I think stuff like the 50-50 split should be automatic instead of trusting someone, especially if someone reaches out to make a server with you and they say, yeah, let's split 50-50. Have that split be automatic if you can. Yeah. Because you don't want it to just go to them and then they'll say, even if that person is trusted, even if like anything like that, you don't want it to just be trust. Unless you've known them for a long time. You want that to be automatic.
Yeah.
Because of stuff like this.
Yeah. It's just a really, really bizarre sort of circumstances. And it really does say something as well that Smallberry literally just deleted everything after this. Like, it's like they can't find him anymore. He's just completely gone.
It's kind of funny too. He ran off with let me pull it up. He ran off with I'm trying to think. It was like $600.
Was it 600 or 400?
It was 400 or 600, one of the two. I don't remember. But that's kind of funny to me because in the long run, that's nothing. Like
that's
nothing.
I'm like this is the most confusing thing about this whole drama. Like, not even the fact that it happened. It's that this guy did it for like $600. This guy had like a promising YouTube channel. He had guides for like Arid and stuff on it, and he was basically one of the first people to start making them because he was in he was on good terms with the map creators, right? And he was in the play tests and shit, and he's just gone just like that, just poof, $600.
For $600.
Yeah, I found the message. Liam says the total was 600. 300 is mine, so technically he stole 300. But it's so funny because to throw everything away for $600.
So technically he did it for. Technically, he did it for 300 because the other 300 was
Liam's.
Bro threw away everything for minimum wage.
I don't even think that.
Okay, so he.
By the way, minimum wage.
I think I can say that he is Polish. He is Polish. I can tell that from his fucking accent.
Yeah, and it's euro, so
that is not even like half of minimum wage. By the way, so. He could go and work at McDonald's for like a month, and he would earn twice as much.
Yeah,
at least.
That is.
It makes no sense, bro. It makes no sense. Ruining your entire reputation for $600.
All right, Stas, you can fact check whether that's correct. I sent it in the chat. Whether that's a lot or anything, either.
That is like half of minimum wage in Poland, but
it's just showed up in large letters on my screen when I type in minimum wage Poland is about 610 euros.
Oh my god. Yeah.
So he ran off with $10 less than minimum wage, or 10 euros less.
God.
If we assume that he stole the 600 and not like the 300, because the 300 belonged to Liam, right?
Oh yeah, no, because it says in the message above, Liam never received his 300.
So he did it with 600.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
I
could honestly just work at my mom's school for like 4 or 5 days, and I can make that exact amount.
Yeah.
Bro, it makes no sense, dog. What? Like, it makes absolutely no sense why he did it. It's so stupid. That's a weird thing about people, isn't it? Like, they'll screw you over for like the littlest things.
Yeah.
Where's the loyalty?
I paid twice. I paid twice that for my PC like 6 years ago. So.
Yeah. Like, where's the loyalty anymore, bro? Where's the real people?
Where the real ones at? Where the real ones at?
Yeah, it's like if I commissioned like an art piece from Stas, I paid him like 20, I'd say. And then he just deletes everything. like, bro, that's like a week's worth of that's like a week's worth of snacks.
Or if, like, instead when I commissioned Stas for a song, and I just said, "Oh yeah, I gave Darente Deep Rock Galactic," and they just made the whole song.
Yeah,
in reality, I never gave it.
That happened.
Like, that did happen.
That happened. Check his fucking Steam.
Didn't I commission you with a copy of Ultra Kill?
Yes.
Like, what if I send that and then you just block me? Like, that's effectively what has happened.
For what, $20 game?
Yeah, it was like 23.
Amazing.
That's so stupid. All right, let's go on to the next topic. Maybe on this topic for a bit.
Wait, which one is it? Is it the?
Let's do Arid.
Compared to what the podcast makes.
Wait. What exactly about Arid? The new thing that's coming, or?
No. I'm just talking about Arid in general. I've been this coincides with Rust a little bit. I've been playing a lot of Arid, and I'm like, it's one of the only curated maps I've actually gone back to and enjoyed playing again. I think personally, like, Elver slightly kind of did that for me, but I wasn't inspired to play Elver as much again when I touched it again. Like, for the first time I played, the second time I played, it was fine, but now I don't really care. But Arid has been consistently, whenever I get back to it, very fun and very funny. When it comes to things that go on, so I wanted to give a little bit of a shout out to Renaxon for making a very intriguing map for at least my taste, at least, because
it quite simply just has a shit ton of content. It's just straight up is the biggest map. Not even like in the map side, but yeah.
There's a huge progression system as well, basically containing that you can explore, you can build, but eventually you're going to need a final workbench, which either you find or you get a bunch of dog tags, which encourages you.
I'm talking about progression.
Around.
I'm not talking about.
I know. I'm saying like why it's fun.
It's one of the things, right? It just nails many aspects of the game at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it does Unturned. Technically, it turns Unturned's mechanics upside down and does it well, so it's good. When it came to it wasn't specifically about progression, because if it was just progression, then like Kuwait, I would love Kuwait, but I don't really like Kuwait because it's just, the progression's fun, but like that's really all it is. There's a lot of smaller things that Ren has done, which is really fun and pretty unique to Arid. I'm not gonna get into it right now, but like if you play Arid, you understand what I'm talking about. When it comes to interesting mechanics you're not gonna see anywhere else, and it was really fun. I killed I was setting up a whole like event for Trident to like stand on a rock for someone to throw a nade at him, and he died immediately because nades are big explosions.
Because nades, they're big explosions, and it was from very far away, which means the nade had time to cook.
And you suck.
Had time to cook. No, I don't suck. I kicked your fucking ass. I kicked your ass, Charlie. Me and my friends kicked your fucking ass.
No,
7,000 hours my ass. All you've been doing is just AFKing those 6,000.
Trident Games, just for context, I killed Trident Games a bit too much on Arid.
He killed Better Call Saul. I would say me and Charlie are about even Steven.
Better Call Saul was camming my base over and over again, and he kept dying. Okay,
there was a guy called Better Call Saul. Like the nickname was Better Call Saul.
No, he was just a skin. He was just a skin of Better Call Saul.
His name was
called Saul Goodman. The character is called fucking Saul Goodman.
But that's what his name was too. That's what his name was too.
First name Better, second name Call Saul, bro.
If you play Arid, you know what I'm talking about. If you guys have anything to add on the Arid, because I want to get into talks about Rust.
Wait. Arid
is definitely one of the maps of all time.
It is one of the maps.
The maps.
Well,
I think Diddley and Stats don't play Rust, but me and Trent play Rust.
I want to play Rust. This guy is he's just like, it's under the table for him all the time.
What do you mean with that?
You have the weirdest schedule, though. That's the thing. You have the weirdest like Rust schedule.
For Rust?
You're the type of guy to play Rust at like 4 p.m. in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Which is odd because usually you would choose either 5 or 12 p.m.
What do you?
Those are the most reasonable times.
Bro is mapping out my times I get on Rust.
Oh no, I don't even know what time. That it's just like you're just a strange person, dude. That's all I'm saying.
What do you even mean?
But, you know what I mean?
No, I know I don't. No, I don't.
I know.
How has been your experience with Rust recently, trying games?
I hopped on. Let's see. I actually wanted to go like fully into Rust with friends, but the problem is they always get their asses kicked, and they're like, "Dude, I'm done. I can't do it."
Yeah,
bro. What are you getting on like vital servers? Like what?
I'm getting on like 2 times with like a lot of people. I want a lot of people to shoot. No, I didn't even fail. I just don't want to continue if someone else is not going to play. I don't want to play Rust by myself.
That's true. Playing games alone sucks.
Something I've just thought of. Can we have like 100-player arena? That'd be awesome. I think.
Yeah. That's odd.
Like, no,
save that thought.
Save that thought. I've heard of this somewhere before.
Save this thought. Save this thought. Save this thought. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole right now. Save this thought. Okay.
Save it for the podcast.
I've been playing a lot of Rust for the past like 3 months. I would say 4 months, even last year a lot. And I think playing Rust has made me realize a lot of things about Unturned and what makes Unturned so good. And what it fundamentally comes down to, is time. I think I would have a lot more time if I had less time. I'm playing Unturned like most of the time, but that changes depending on what map I'm playing. But Rust is for like it'll be like just time consuming, like a fuck ton. Like if you're not like a god at Rust, you're gonna just be like playing that game for like 10 hours straight and barely get anything done. So it's just when it comes down to it. Like Rust is just so time consuming, which gives me like, which makes me like Unturned a lot more. That's not like as aids to get like a firearm at least to like deal with like the 10-man groups that exist on the server and stuff like that, which is really nice to say. And also playing a lot of Rust, and now I know a lot of like people that play Unturned, and I understand this because I was one of these people. A lot of people who play Unturned, like. Like what is the word I'm looking for? Vehemently? I don't know. I don't know the word, but basically they just really don't like Rust like as a whole. Like they just look at Rust, they're like disgusted by it. Which I mean, I was one of those people, and I didn't like Rust whatsoever just because of the culture that was persistent in it, and also coming over to Unturned, it's like kind of weird. So I understand why a lot of people didn't like it. But when I played Rust, I think I got a more sense of what it is. And that's just to say I don't like. That's just to say that I like the culture of Rust because I really don't. But what a lot of people in the Unturned community that play Rust and then ask for things to be added into Unturned, because of Rust, make me more so see how wrong they really are. Now that I've played Rust for at least 1,000 hours. I can say that the majority of people that ask for mechanics to be added from Rust to Unturned are completely wrong. They fundamentally don't understand what Unturned really is, and personally, I now can say that with at least some backing of playing the game, which is good because I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this like Rust concept, and even recently, there was a discussion on this like. On Unturned Reddit. I know, fucking Reddit, right? But I got like an email notification of it because I'm just there. And I saw it and it was complaining about why does Unturned feel like more like a PvP game. And I specifically said this because the game was never supposed to be played for 6 days in a row. It's not what the game was meant to be played like. The game is a casual survival game, and literally what happens is that everyone plays out the game so hard, plays the game so much because it is so fun that everyone gets kind of bored because there's not enough content, and that's what the real problem is. But and then compared to Rust, if I want a PvP game, I'll just go to Rust. And I'm like, that's not inherently wrong, but at the same time, it's like you're completely misunderstanding what Unturned really is, as opposed to Rust. Rust is a long survival game when it comes down to it. If you're playing on actual servers, if you're playing on like monthly or like dead servers, of course, it's not gonna be like the same. If you're playing like servers that have players on it, then you're gonna get the experience of like what Rust really is. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm just glad I played Rust, and I now get more sense of what actually it is. So yeah. Speaking of which,
it's like a comparison that I can make. It's like comparing and then wanting features from Arma 3 in War Thunder. Like they're completely like they're kind of in the same category to an extent. They have very similar things. It's just they aren't the same game. They're not supposed to be the same game, and so the same features won't work in both. Kind of like how, just saying like War Thunder combat is a lot different from Arma 3 combat. The same way that Unturned combat is very different from Rust combat. And obviously especially a lot of survival features in Rust wouldn't work as well in Unturned. Stuff like the refinery, whatever. That I feel like that wouldn't really work.
Furnaces, refineries. Honestly, in my opinion, workbenches don't really work with Unturned. I like actual placeable workbenches to stay around. I think that's stupid, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that stuff that makes sense, like campfires,
horses,
like that's fine.
Horses at Unturned.
Good. There's no horses.
Good.
Yeah. No more horses.
To be fair, we do. An animal rework would be nice, but not now.
7 years in the future. 7 years in the future.
Rework. You'll be able to jump on them like you do with the zombies.
That should be pretty cool. I feel like that wouldn't be as difficult to implement as like other animal changes. That'd be kind of cool.
If Nelson adds physics to Unturned, that'd be awesome.
Well, we saw like at least zombies have collision now, which is interesting.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of Zombie collision. I feel like zombie collision is interesting because it obviously still has issues because it's very new. I feel like if you've ever like on a multiplayer server like stood on like a weird corner of a car and then you'll notice that like your view model will like bounce up and down as if you're constantly falling and landing. If you stand on top of a zombie's head at any point, that will happen, which to me, I think that's the server, that's like the client and server not really handling standing on top of zombies properly. Yeah,
they're not agreeing
because
on where the player is.
If you sprint directly into a zombie on a server, it doesn't stop you like a wall does. You like go through it, like you rubber band back pretty much. Same with standing on top of it. You rubber band a hell ton if you stand on top of a zombie. And my private server has force trust client which is an old thing where any movement that the client sends is always accepted by the server, so there shouldn't be any rubber banding, but it still happens. And it's and what I've done is basically disabled the anti-cheat for movement, and it still happens. So it definitely needs some work, but the whole fact that we can now get blocked in corridors by zombies and also stand on their heads just alone is really good.
They're slightly more of a threat.
No, they are an extreme threat now because I never thought about the amount that in horde beacons I just subconsciously sprint directly through the horde of zombies, and now you actually have to fight them. It's really cool, and you can actually be if there's 2 or 3 zombies, you can get completely swarmed and blocked in, and you have to fight them. You can't just sprint past anymos, which I saw people complaining about, and they're like, "Oh, it's weird," but it's not because
they need to learn it. You know, the funny thing was, I was preparing for this update like years ago because I believed, and the elite believed that this update was going to happen a lot sooner. So I developed methods to deal with zombies back in the day, and it still works perfect today. I'm so glad I made them. I'll tell you one method. There was a method called Crescent Moon Chainsaw. What you do is when you get a large group of zombies.
What kind of Guilty Gear move is that?
Crescent Moon Chainsaw. Basically,
what you do. Guilty Gear move set. What the hell?
You gotta get a whole. This is basically for horde beacons. If you get a whole horde of zombies, right? Like basically host you, like a big chunk of them, basically like a regular horde beacon. And basically, they're all together. You circle around them a couple times, and then what you want to do is you want to slightly tap S while pressing A and D, and basically move, keep moving backwards, and move A and D like a crescent moon shape kind of with your mouse, and then just keep continuously hit them, and then kept messing with like their hitbox so they don't actually hit you, and kept doing that over and over again. I practiced it like a long time ago, and it still works today, and it's very funny that I had this prepped. So I'm very glad. I really just wanted to be fixed when it comes to rubber banding, because yes, it is a problem. I wanted to be fixed because I want to parkour on zombies. I want some real like multiplayer parkouring that I can there's a guy on top of like a window and like a second floor. I just jump on a fire hydrant, a zombie, the light post, and then get into the window in like 3 seconds. I want that to be a possibility, but right now it's a bit silly.
Movement is always really cool. And when there's bugs which limit movement, that kind of sucks, obviously. I think that that's also another thing. Running across zombies. If you have like a horde of zombies, you stand on top of one of them and then you start sprinting forward. Like, what should normally happen is you should just run forward, but that doesn't really happen. You rubber band back a hell ton. But I hope that gets ironed out in the future. The fact that it's a thing now is good. I've seen a lot of people say that there's issues with zombies that will stand on top of other zombies, which so good. That's really cool. Like,
there's more tech.
That's like
give
World War Z.
Give zombies the ability to jump. Hell, that'd be fun.
Rez is gonna overhaul the whole zombie.
Give them guns at this point.
Give them guns,
I want horde beacons to, feel more like hordes.
Make them.
They're walking at me.
Make them create like explosives and they throw at you, like occasionally.
Stuff like I feel like other zombie improvements would be nice, because I feel like zombies are such an integral part of the game, but then they have been left out for so long with updates.
They don't do anything else than just walking.
Yeah. Before this update, the last update to zombies was adding the different types, which was back in
You're forgetting something, Dilly. You're forgetting. Yes, you're technically correct. But everybody, I want to just read this up because it's funny. The Dying Light zombies were the last zombies to be added into Unturned.
I mean, those are still new. Those are still new types.
Dude, I love them. They scream.
Yeah. Apparently, I read I was looking back on old patch notes. Apparently, the Dying Light zombies burn in day. I didn't know that. I've never tested that, but
I think that's a lie.
It says they do in the patch notes, and I'll test that.
That's a lie.
Yeah, the last time that zombies got any type of update before the Dying Light stuff, was when they added the new types, like when the burner, the spitter, all of the other bosses were added. That was the last time that zombies got an update, and I feel like giving them more stuff now. Like, if I'm if I'm in a horde beacon and I'm standing on top of a house, I want the zombies to climb on each other to get to me. That kind of thing. Like,
I mean, they kind of really do, but they don't do it effectively.
Not enough. Like, I want bad preparation for a horde beacon to be even more punishing. Because I feel like horde beacons just aren't enough. Just extra health, health, and then just making them all angry at you and decreasing respawn time isn't enough for a horde. Like, a horde beacon is
something special about it.
Yeah, a horde beacon is a big thing, and so that should impact on the zombies. Like, you know what? Just copy and paste the AI from Left 4 Dead. Just dump them on the zombies. Let them climb. Let them jump. Let them sprint at me. Turn them all into sprinters. They all get on all fours.
You know I forgot about Diddley, and now that you talked about it, there's one update in between the Dying Light and the actual the spitter and all of them, and it's the spirit zombie that existed. It came out with Ireland. which is it only takes it takes a shit ton of bullets to kill it, but it can die in melee like as normal zombies. So yeah,
yeah, like that's kind of it.
Yeah, there's not really much.
I think zombies being able to do stuff would be cool. Like more stuff. Like hell, make it so in the hard mode they can open doors.
In hard mode,
for example, right?
Is driving a car.
Yeah, right. Cars, for example. Yeah, I agree.
We go in cars and they like try to run you over.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
Can I cure the zombies with a vaccine?
Do you guys know about like just like unturned limitations in modding?
I don't know.
For maps?
I don't know many of them.
We're just
okay, well, like, is it so? You know, have you guys played PUBG before?
Yeah, no.
So in I think a semi-recent update, they added like a vehicle thing, like or like this armored truck that just travels around the map, and you can destroy it for like extra shit. Basically, is that possible in Unturned?
You mean a boss?
It's not like a boss, but it's like an optional vehicle where you can like blow it up and you can get like more guns and ammo.
I mean, like Bradley from Rust.
Kind of like Bradley, I would say.
Yeah, I'd say that's possible. It'd be a weird workaround. It'll probably just be like an object with an animation, but yeah, technically, sure. I guess.
Technically.
I mean,
it wouldn't have pathfinding or whatever, and it would only probably work on the map that you make it for. But ultimately, yeah, it would probably work. That'd be kind of cool.
Isn't Rust with Unity?
I think so. I just I think like a cool thing is because like you think of raiding supplies, you mostly only use it on like multiplayer to raid other people's bases. Yeah. But I've seen many like examples of where raiding supplies can actually be used for like breaking into like military compounds to get some, like hard to, get items, or destroying vehicles from like, another, I guess. Yeah.
I think that'd be cooler in main game to have like an enemy, a military enemy that comes in and just like you have to kill it.
Ren. I proposed it to Ren. He just told me to fuck off. He actually didn't, metaphorically.
He did it in spirit, and that's what matters.
Yeah, he did it anyway.
Yeah, no, like more human, more like humans in Unturned would be cool. That kind of thing. Like if there was a military force other than just the airdrops and like NPCs.
That'd
be cool.
Like bandits and shit.
I'm gonna bring up the forbidden map, the best map in the game, by the way. What are the bad guys on Carpet called?
Carpet.
Appear?
No, not these ones. The second safe zone.
What are they called? They're called like. Aren't they like? They're not bandits, but they're like mercenaries. Aren't they the mercenaries?
I think so.
The mercenary safe zone. That's what it was. Or the bandit safe zone, something like that. It was like why?
You know what could be interesting if like there were like coalition NPCs too that would like they would attack you depending on your maybe reputation level, but then again the reputation system.
Yeah, reputation.
I feel like what could be interesting is if there was a system where they would where like the higher I actually proposed this I think a while ago. Judging on your base health, there would be like a scale of bandits, and if your base is like heavily armed or armored, then you would have
Terraria.
Kind of. I would say then you get stronger bandits, maybe like rocket launchers or something.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Just raiding bandits in general, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. I think that's kind of funny. Think about this. I think this is what Trine's trying to say, but I want to say it more because I thought about this, and I would think it's so funny.
You always think about everything.
So imagine you're chilling there, right? And as you build more like buildables on a base, so it would determine the value. How it would determine this is like how many placeable objects you have in the base and how big your base is, basically, right? And basically, the more shit that you have, the progressive of an enemy would show up, and this enemy would start off with like recon units, and then they'll come in with like actual like military, and they'll come in with like Humvees and shit, and they'll come in with tanks. They're just trying to raid your base, basically. So it's like Terraria.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of like there's this system. I'm sorry. I am gonna bring up Stellaris. There's this one system called Empire Size. So basically there are people who play like wide and tall because when you don't expand your empire much, you don't get like debuffs and shit. So I think what would happen is people will start making like more I don't know. They would try exploiting that system basically to make it so their base seems like it's worth nothing for the AI, but it's actually like a good progressed base. Maybe people.
But how do you do that? Because if like maybe in like like a section or a chunk, if I dare to say,
It depends on how the system calculates how good a base is. Because if it's
depending
purely
on what you
by
have, like it could check the inventories of whatever's in the base, and then if you have like something like you have multiple dragon fangs, you have multiple rocket launchers, you have multiple rockets, you have a certain amount of a specific ammo type, you have stuff like that. That could probably also go into the calculations. But ultimately, it'd be a very
I think that calculation
that'd be a very that would be hugely complicated.
I think that's just fucked. I think
that'd be very welcome.
I think the best way to do it, because it already somewhat sort of exists, is literally the amount of placeable objects around an area. There's like 1,000 or like 2,000 placeable objects in the area that are connected together. By the way, like I'm saying this, if they're connected together, because you can't do that with scanning, with rec scanning and shit. That's already a thing that you can do. Imagine that, and then
imagine that on a map like Arid with all the placeable stuff.
I mean, yeah, you'd have to find a good balance between it because you don't want
just go from
map
to map.
You don't want stuff like a completely wooden 1x1 base that has like that just has someone who just kills like good players. Have like a bandit NPC spawn on them with like 5 tanks.
And then what you could do maybe to troll someone is take like that like one box in Arid, like the endgame box.
Yeah.
You just place that right next to someone's base.
Exactly.
No. The best way to troll somebody, and nobody would. This is the problem with this system, though. When I thought about it, is if that were to go, then someone can literally just get a bunch of like buildable objects and just place on a house, like just infinitely, and then they'll just get like when they go back online, they get like 5 tanks spawning on their base.
Doesn't that add importance to the claim generator then? Because
claim flag, it would make importance to it, but I think it's just funny that you could do that. It'd be like 5 takes a piece.
I think Radar AI.
It would have to be a really it'd have to be like a really advanced system so that it doesn't overcalculate or undercalculate, so that you don't have like a full metal like 10x10 base that gets people in like mid-range gear, like maybe a couple chargers, something like that, versus like a 1x1 that has 5 tanks spawn on it.
It's a cool idea to think about, but putting that in practice is, I think, it's just impossible.
Yeah,
I think it's a funny idea.
I feel like the best way that this could be implemented would be like, I guess it could be made as a plugin, like albeit a really advanced plugin that would probably require a lot of outside stuff, like a lot of outside programs that simulate players, which would be the Bandit AI.
And it'd probably only work on specific maps,
specific servers and maps.
Let's think with this. I can think like a plugin that can dictate whether or not an animal can spawn, and the animal being an AI similar to the Elver cultist that exist in dorms, being able to spawn outside someone's house. So I think that would be like somehow to do it. But here's a funny idea. So for sky bases, for the people that think about sky bases, imagine like an Anushka circling the sky base and like rocketing it in a
the
Unturned
trailer would finally make sense now.
Yeah, it would make sense.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, like specific AI for specific areas. Like if it's an underwater base, you'd have like
submarine.
A submarine. You'd have like a sky base would just have a bunch of aerial vehicle.
But fucking raiding a base with torpedoes, bro. Like,
okay,
oh
Charles, I was gonna think. I thought the way that you were gonna go with that was a sky base would work like a monster spawner because it wouldn't be able to detect it, and it would just constantly be spawning like tank NPCs.
And
that'd
they
be
just
also really funny.
So no one could ever rate it. That would be funny.
True.
If it were to do it like that, it would just
that would
infinitely
make
rate it.
high bases even better.
That's
like
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That like
NPC monster spawner.
So if it's not connected, like there's no floor, because that's what the problem is. There's no floor on sky bases. You can't do that. So
Yeah,
there's no
it's
floor
roofs.
on a sky base. It's just roofs. If all the bases are connected to one roof and there's no single floor, then it spawns Anushkas and then and paratroopers that come from the sky. and they stand on top of the base, and you have to get rid of them.
But
you can have sky limit base, and
let's ask a question: why simulate like players who are raiding your base?
I'm just simulating annoyance. And it could be like players.
I mean, to be fair, we are. I mean, this is more like a PvE thing to add more to PvE.
Yeah, exactly. I think this could work as a beacon sort of thing. That you start a raid on your own base and you have to defend it basically, and it gives you a reward.
What if cool. An actual a human horde beacon?
A human horde beacon.
Yeah. Human horde beacon.
Human horde beacon.
That's kind of funny. Think about this. Imagine you're in mid raid or you're getting raided, and you're like, you know what, fuck it, and you just you launch a whole raid on your own house, and then thousands of NPCs just come in.
Yeah.
That would be. Oh yeah, no, that would also be something. Would they stack? So you'd have 5 people place one down at once, and then 6 attack helis spawn on you.
An entire fucking tank division just shows up to your base.
That's so funny.
Oh, that would also. I mean, for all of this to be possible, it would also mean that there'd be moddable. Meaning you could probably, if this were to be added, it'd be cool if they were moddable, so that you could add your own custom bandit AI. You could spawn green skins.
Dude, just recruit your entire mercenary little army, your private little army to defend your base. Yeah.
Yeah. You could have your own army, or you could just spawn green skins.
We're talking about that, but what about just zombies coming after people's bases? Why not just that? I think
that could be fun.
It's already possible. Zombies destroy structures. It's just that they don't have nav meshes, which again presents a lot of problematic stuff, because now you need a big ass nav mesh on your entire map, which
this.
whole thing to lag.
This is correlating to what we said earlier. There's a new zombie called the Breacher zombie, and it spawns outside bases with a beacon or something. Basically, these Breacher zombies do 6 times more damage to buildables, and they will fuck up your base. And they're an animal AI, so they have infinite mesh, right? So they literally are just gonna break down your base once you spawn them, and they'll give you I don't know, they'll give you some sort of loot, specific loot. I don't know.
That'd be cool. I feel like a lot of the stuff that people suggest for Unturned, they kind of narrow it down a lot, or they dumb it down a lot. We forget that Unturned as a game is very, very easy on your system, meaning you can cram a hell ton more into it. An entire map nav mesh would mean nothing to your phone, because you want to think about the amount of other games that do it, CSGO's Danger Zone. I think Fortnite has a nav mesh for its whole map.
But aren't they built with some of that in mind? I mean, Unturned.
I think so.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Animal AI.
Unturned. Unity has nav mesh stuff, and I think that's what Unturned uses. And Unity's nav mesh stuff is very optimized. So it probably wouldn't be as taxing on your system as we're thinking, especially because Unturned can support, because it is just a Unity game. Because everything's low poly, a lot of people get to that mindset that it has to be low poly for performance, where almost everyone's PCs, most people's PCs, can run much more advanced games on the same system, and hell, importing models from those advanced games is perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think
the models is not where Unturned is unoptimized.
Yeah, it's most of the systems.
Would it be possible for Nelson to do a graphical update?
Maybe.
It's possible. I mean, I don't see a.
Let's get him on the podcast again and ask.
It's less of what's possible and more of why, Like, Unturned doesn't need a graphical update because Unturned looks fine. It has that look to it, which is good, and everyone resonates.
I would say Unturned looks fine, but I feel like now I digress. I mean, we've all played Minecraft, and then we played Minecraft with shaders, right?
Yeah. No. Yeah. What I'm saying, what I wanted to say, I disagree that Unturned doesn't need a graphical update. I think that vanilla models could use a rework, because when you compare vanilla models to Arid, it's just like, not even Arid, Polaris, even some of the Kuwait models. It's just it shows. Yeah. It shows. It just shows. Like, for example, the military vest is literally like a cube with more cube. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Chris Carrack is just
that's peak design, bro. Have you seen the Vanya? The Vanya is peak design.
The 1911's peaker design.
Oh yeah, that's peak design.
Dude, peak design is the maple strike.
Oh yes.
Like, if I saw someone carrying that around in public, like, I would know, like, I would realize that's not like a weirdly like low poly M4. No, that's a maple strike. You know.
Yeah.
Yep. I want to add something on to the stupid idea of the breachers. There's no Spec Ops zombies that exist in Unturned. Make this special zombies Spec Ops units, so it makes sense. The Spec Ops are breachers, and they come into your base and they destroy shit. And 6 times more damage.
Evil.
There's no Spec Ops units on the map, but there's still Spec Ops close.
Are they going to be like kind of like people who happen to be wearing explosives on their chest, and then those explosives happen to kill them when they detonate?
No, breachers just do more damage to buildings. Like they're just a regular zombie. Just more damage.
Bro, I want to see
sledgehammer.
I want to see the Clash of Clans skeletons in Unturned, bro. Like,
dude, no. The Clash of Clans giants, like, give Mega Zombies a 5-second wind-up punch that instantly destroys walls. Please. That'd be so cool.
That'd be like the what's it called? I feel like that's like a JoJo reference right there.
The Super Mega.
Something like that. I don't know. I was kind of going for a mixture between the Clash of Clans giant and like a Falcon Punch with a lot more wind-up. You know,
you guys
make it really like visible that it's happening, but then you also have to like stun them, like not even stun them, just damage them to cancel it.
Have you guys seen Villager News by any chance?
Yeah. Stop. Okay.
You know the helicopters, right?
The village helicopters.
True.
Yeah. You asking for a zombie helicopter?
I'm asking for a zombie helicopter.
Zombie helicopter that fully forms itself when it gets over your base. It like completely falls apart, and it's just a bunch of zombies on your base.
And they start raiding the base.
Yeah.
It's like an airdrop. It's like an airdrop, but instead of like the drop, it just like collapses in the air and just drops zombies.
Yeah.
And since we all know that in the Unturned universe, like full
zombies
damage
don't have full damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually tested that. Zombies really don't have full damage.
What Nelson really needs to add is custom effects. So, like, you know, like the little baubles that kind of pop up above your health. It's just signify, if you're like radiated or if you're in a safe zone, or
you want customized versions of that.
That could be
cool.
Yeah,
I get that.
You know what? The game
can make buffs,
because it would allow just buffs and effects. Because it would allow stuff like You could just remake Minecraft potions if you do that.
You couldn't make meth and then actually give you like.
I played a server where that was a thing. I think on an older version of Brad's RP, you could get meth, and if you took it, it increased your speed and jump height by a hell ton.
So awesome.
So awesome. That's trying games, man.
I love
how awesome. I love meth. Trident game 2023.
Oh shit! I can't open this door.
Bro, it's playing Roblox.
Let me open the door.
Well,
but yeah, that kind of thing, because like people argue, it's a thing in like servers, but then you want to think like most of what we're talking about is like somewhat possible with plugins. It's somewhat, but what we're mostly talking about single player here. Or like single player, or like low, or like very closed co-op multiplayer. Like obviously, like raider NPCs don't really have a place in multiplayer, like especially like a big PvP server, so they'd probably be disabled. But local single player, like
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense because there is a lot of like raiding and anti-raiding stuff in like in the game, but a lot of people actually play single player, so they just do not.
A lot of people just don't touch it.
It's only 1/5 of the unturned population that plays.
They just miss out on that entire part of the game. So if you had like an incentive to actually place turrets outside your base in single player, that could be cool.
And also it being single player means that you are open to your own creativity. Like if you want to use a hell ton of mods and like defend a base with like some kind of like weird obscure weapon, you absolutely can. You don't have to find a server or even host one and then get players and then make a base. Like you can just you can
it also prepares you to like, to see like, oh yeah, like this is what to expect when raiding. I mean, to a certain degree.
Yeah, pretty much.
Then there should be like actual. I mean, there's like a very ambitious idea, but an actual like bandits or whatever make their own like little houses and shit.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of like a giant ass fucking loot box. I mean, who doesn't like surprise mechanics?
Yeah, just oh my god. No, but I can imagine like small little bases popping up on like random parts of the map, and when you raid them, you just get some gear.
I feel like this specific idea really plays into the idea that Unturned is a procedurally generated game, which it is not. But, I don't know. It could still work on like a really large map. Like open up the Driftless, and you'll probably have a good time with that.
Oh yeah, I love lagging. Imagine putting a huge ass knob mesh on the Driftless. Like the whole map is just a knob mesh.
I think that the way that nav meshes work just generally is it's a file, so it's not generated, and it's also not used unless something has to, and then even then only the portion which is near the NPC is used, obviously.
Yeah, but like
that's how it's optimized.
But isn't the reason why knob mesh lags is because it's like keeping track of every single zombie or every single like thing that is using it or whatever?
I mean, do nav meshes lag? I don't really. I've never had something that uses nav meshes lag.
I don't know.
I remember talking with Animatic. I talked with Animatic about it, and he said that the knob mesh, like in a big ass knob mesh, can like cause performance issues.
Oh well, he's just silly like that, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. Animatic is making an update to his map though, so it's less performance.
The best story to offer.
The story that still Knight Rider has not figured out yet.
And I swear to God, if Ren made like a actual story for Arid, he might have won the Unturned map creation. But
he might have won the map creation.
He might have won the map creation. You heard it here. If Arid had a storyline, it would win the map creation.
Well, I think we're how long? We were like an hour in now. I think
close enough. Yeah.
Who will be the first Polish person to make a map with lore?
I don't know.
Anyway, this entire episode has kind of just been like we touched on some
I mean,
stuff
wait,
that
do you want to
happened,
discuss
we kind of just talked about stuff that would be cool.
I mean, ultimately,
discuss your thing.
Oh yeah, my thing. Okay, yeah. So I'm taking like 30 or 40 unturned characters. I'm porting them into VR chat. That's playable. That's kind of the thing that I've been working on. That's why I haven't released a mod since like July. Other than the fact that the actual reason I haven't released a mod since July is because I just haven't really been bothered. But my current most recent modding project isn't to do with Unturned directly, but it is still Unturned related. But it's not for Unturned,
Yeah.
And it's also not really modding, it's just adding content. So I'm making let me open my notes. So I'm making like 40 maybe 40 different VR chat avatars. All of them are unturned avatars because I've noticed that there is a very like small amount of unturned content on VR chat, and VR chat is basically the game where it's just here's everything. And especially because I've been getting into it recently. And there's also like one map. There's also one actual game location map on VR chat, and so that's also another thing. Especially because a lot of people over the years have wanted some kind of unturned VR experience other than the level editor. So this is going to be pretty much a workaround for that, where I just port a bunch of unturned stuff to VR chat.
Yes, sir.
stuff like avatars and maps are what's planned. I think I've mentioned. I think I'm gonna do the main menu barn, Seattle from Washington, St. Petersburg from Russia, possibly the entirety of Dango, and possibly the entirety of PEI. But those two are later down the line. But I think after the main menu barn, which is going to act as an avatar world, so all of the avatars will be available there.
Maybe with all that, I can finally add one singular gun that may or may not work into H3VR.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I'm probably gonna start messing about with H3 soon-ish. I mean, I want to get at least 10 avatars out into VR chat, and then also maybe the main menu barn, obviously, but then also maybe Seattle. And then I think after Seattle's release, I'll start messing with H3 VR. Because H3 is going to be a massive project. Because for VR chat, for comparison, it's close to the same process. You mess with the model a bit. You have to change the skeleton, but I have that already set up and whatever. So you have to change the skeleton, and then you have to set up some stuff in Unity. It's not much at all. Almost anyone can upload a VR chat avatar. It is that easy. It has a lot of the same accessibility as Unturned modding, but maps are a little bit more difficult because I think just first off, Unturned maps, other than the main menu barn, are not stored in Unity scenes. They are stored in they are in I think JSON files, which or at least half of them are. And then stuff like the landscape and whatever is just in PNGs. But that's why I can't just copy and paste it. And I actually have to. I spoke to someone because if someone has searched up Unturned stuff in VR chat, you'll notice there is a full recreation of Volk military base. I spoke to the guy who made that. He individually placed every single object. And that's how that was made. And so for Seattle, St. Petersburg, PEI, blah, 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 I would have to do the same. I would have to manually take every object and every object's location and one by one place them. And you want to think about how large PEI is. And even how large Seattle is. That's going to take quite a while, and that's why I can't just one-to-one port them. And then also I want the lighting to be the same. Because I got it down with the main menu barn, but I don't know how
Jesus.
I don't know how PEI will be. But it'll be okay when the project is done, like a quote-unquote done, because I'll probably just do more over time. It'll be pretty good. I mean, I already have some stuff in there now. I have a main menu world. I have the main menu barn almost ready to go. I think I just need to add the avatars to that. Once they're done, I'll get about 5 or 10 avatars done, and then I'll upload the main menu barn. But I think it's even in my profile picture. My own avatar, my own Unturned avatar, is already in VR chat right now, and I actively use it. And also the main template avatar is also uploaded. Which can be found on my account, but it will obviously be a lot easier to find when you can find the main menu barn. But that's kind of been what I've been doing with VR chat, and then with H3, that's going to be a bit bigger of a project because I will have to rework. I mean, I don't have to, but I'll have to. But I want to. I'll have to rework every gun model I want to use, and that's why I'm only sticking to 5 or 10, and then also like a few of those being melees. Because melees are going to be simple, I could just port the melees. But actual guns, I'll have to give them like proper internals and stuff. Not really, but like I'll have to make the exterior shell not just one model. Because you'll notice that no parts move in Unturned other than on stuff that's like made to move. So stuff like, if I was to like port like Doug's models or NSTM's models, those would work fine because they already have moving parts. But Unturned models themselves do not have moving parts, and so I have to add the parts myself.
Yeah, and it's the way that the guy went about it, because I did import a 1911 into H3, but it doesn't work super well. So basically, it's like the thing is every caliber of weapon is different on how you like how you make it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And there's also not really much workarounds you can do. Like for the ammo, what I did is I think I made a static object by accident, but I think you're supposed to do some more preparation for the ammo.
And then that's also another thing. For every weapon that I add, if I wanna add attachments, I'll have to adjust those too. If I wanna hell, even for a single weapon, I will have to take its base model, add the iron. I would have to port the base. I would have to modify and then port the base model. I would have to then take the iron sights and then also port them over. Add any modify or add any functionality that those have. I'd then have to take the magazine, which it has, and then I'd have to rework
bullets.
I'd have to rework the magazine so that it actually has internals, and then I'd have to make a custom bullet model as well, which is either just going to be like cubic or it's just going to fit the or it'll probably just fit Unturned style or whatever. It shouldn't be that big of an issue, but yeah, it's just quite a lot of work because you're effectively making something from scratch, apart from not really because it's not from scratch.
And then there's also a lot of stuff that might go wrong.
Yeah, of course. And then I have to figure out calibers and stuff because Unturned there are 3 calibers. There is there's 2 main calibers. There's low caliber and high caliber. That's it. So there's
low cal military, right?
Yeah, there's low caliber, which is just civilian. There's low caliber military and low caliber ranger. And that's it for ammo types. And then there's high cal military and then high cal ranger. And that's it. And obviously, H3 is a lot more specific and accurate. So I think I'll probably just copy it from their counterparts. So stuff like an M, like the Maple Strike will probably use like whatever caliber an M4 is, stuff like that.
Yeah, 5.56, 7.62.
Yeah, which hopefully is maybe like a bonus feature. I could also maybe make the ammos like cross-compatible with their real-life counterparts. That'd be kind of cool, actually. Yeah, that sounds cool. I'll note that. I could have it so that the actual M4 could use Maple Strike or like military mags, and like the Maple Strike could use the M4 mags, something dumb like that. That'd be kind of cool. I could do that. But yeah, that's kind of just been what I've been doing. I've kind of gotten a hell ton more into VR, more than playing Unturned. I mean, I have played Unturned a hell ton. I got my girlfriend into Unturned, and now she's actually pretty good at PvP. So I kind of play that a lot with her. But then other than that, yeah, I haven't really been playing Unturned to mod Unturned itself, more of to port Unturned to other platforms. And that's kind of just been what I've been up to. Pretty fun.
No. There's one last thing I want to talk about before this episode ends, and I honestly forgot. About this because it's been so long. I want to give a shout out to a guy named Keyneed. Now, I don't know if you guys know who Keyneed is, but Keyneed is a guy who ported Unturned 2.0 to mobile. And it's exactly what I said it is. It's a 2.0 port of mobile. And I played a bit of it. It was pretty fun. I died over and over again because it's so hard to play on fucking mobile. But I mean, it was basically it. I mean, yeah, it was a 2.0 like product of mobile.
So does that mean that he has access to some kind of project file for Unturned 2?
I think he just like data mined it all. If I'm being honest.
That seems interesting because I mean, when I data mined Unturned 2, because who hasn't? When I data mined Unturned 2, there wasn't just like a master project file, I guess, because that's just not really how Unity works, I guess. But I don't know.
He data mined it all.
I could have just looked wrong. And also,
I don't know. Maybe he recreated the whole game. I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, that's also another thing. Ignore my dog barking. So that could also be another thing. I think that Unturned 2 actually does store their stuff in Unity files. Actually, I have, because as every Unturned community member, I do have an entire ripped copy of Unturned 2. I think so. I think so. I mean, I could absolutely just port Unturned 2's PEI into VR chat. That could be rather easy.
Easy, man.
I'll think about that. But then
But
there'll probably be a separate project to port 30 different avatars from Unturned 2.0 in VR chat instead.
Oh my
That'd
god.
be separate.
But Keyneed, he ported Unturned, 2.0 to mobile, and I played it a bit. It was real. I thought it was about to like kill my phone. I was prepared for everything, and it was a real product.
It
was
It's
a
like
product.
It's like
You think that- hang on.
or something.
If it's a port, you think it's cross-platform. Like
I-
if I open an Unturned 2 server, you think you could join it on mobile?
No, I think he's working on that. Last time I checked, I actually messaged Nelson about it because I wasn't entirely sure if he knew that existed. And if I remember correctly, he said that he knew it existed, and he needs to get back to talking to the guy because he needs to make sure it's not commercialized, which is fair. And it seems like Keyneed doesn't care about the money. He's just been working on this, so I've been enjoying this this bit of work, and also it's pretty cool. I want to compare this to before you say what you need to say. There's been more updates for Unturned Mobile than there's been for Unturned Console. Just want to say that real quick.
The big company versus the singular group.
The singular dev. I mean, it's a lesser project, but still, like.
Now I think about it. If you're able to port Unturned 2.0 to an entire new platform, you think that you can mod it? And by I don't mean like Unturned 3 like Steam Workshop. I mean add new stuff entirely, like add new mechanics.
You probably could.
Oh no, I might see if I can get in touch with him to get his entire open source build of Unturned 2.
Bro, I'm gonna make a whole new Unturned. Bro's gonna compete with regular Unturned, bro.
Actually, hang on, wait. That'd actually be pretty cool to have the original I think that Nelson says he doesn't have it anymore. But if we have something close to what could be an open source build of Unturned 2.0, that could be really nice to have,
On mobile. Yeah, I'm across time trying to games on mobile, bro.
What about an open source build of Unturned 4.0?
True,
I don't even know if it's possible.
I mean, it is absolutely possible. I mean, if Nelson's completely done with Unturned 4, I mean, hell, even if he hasn't done... I mean, yeah, he hasn't said he's fully done, but I think that if he's done with for it for now, I think that like the current build, which has like nothing compared to what the future's gonna have, I feel like the current build could be open sourced. But then I feel like that might cause an issue where someone could silently update Unturned 4 they could update their own build of Unturned 4 to do exactly the same thing that Nelson's doing, and then when Unturned 4 releases, he just has another version of it and he open sources it. That might cause an issue, but then that's an extremely rare chance.
Unturned fans are like Cardi B fans, or no, Playboy Cardi fans.
Yeah, there's no way none of them could do that. They're not bothered. Even then, that would be a community build of Unturned 4. That could be cool.
Imagine like an entire build where it's built by the entire community of Unturned.
Every community member gets 1,000 lines of code each. Add anything.
Yeah.
Oh,
let's see some racist paraphernalia.
Okay. I guess on that topic, I'm gonna close this episode. We've been going on for a bit.
Yeah.
It's good to be back. It's good to be
back in business.
Back, baby. And then to the rest of the people who are expecting me to disappear after this, screw you. I'm not going anywhere. And this year, I'm gonna tell you this right now. This year is gonna be crazy.
He told me some crazy stuff.
Fukucha's album is gonna release in 5 minutes.
To the rest of Unturned, I hope all of you are prepared for what's gonna happen this year. If you know, you know.
Speaking of albums, check out my SoundCloud account.
True.
This is gonna be a fun year. This is gonna be a fun year. All right, goodbye, everybody. And I don't know. Go subscribe to me on YouTube.
Oh my god, I have to be the one clicking the button to stop the recording now.
Stop the recording, stats. Bye
bye. I hate you all. Wait, is the recording over?
It's still going. It's still going. Wait a second.
End the recording, Stas. End the recording.
Bye.